Hi guys! No, I'm just joking. I'm not one of those dumbasses that starts a video with hi guys. I hate people that do that. But anyway, you're watching Fugitive Red-Eye, and before I move on to this episode of Flashbacks, I'd just like to say a few things about last episode's topic. First off, I forgot to mention that every episode of The Red Green Show has been officially uploaded to YouTube. I left a link to it in the description of the previous video, but I will also leave one in this video. In the description of this video. But I will... Secondly, the book for The Red Green Show isn't really a novel, it's more of a faux DIY guide, much like Handyman's Corner itself. It's called How to Do Everything, and I definitely recommend it. Now, on to Flashbacks, PBS shows Part 2. Red Dwarf. Red Dwarf is my favorite show, and the show that ignited my obsession with British comedy. It is the best way to describe the show is the description on the DVD box. Now that description is described thusly, and it reads, Chicken Soup Machine Repairman and intergalactic loser Dave Lister awakes from suspended animation to discover that he is the lone survivor of a radiation leak and is now 3 million years into deep space and the last surviving member of the human race. Dave is soon joined by a hologram of his dead bunkmate, a lifeform who evolved from his pet cat and a neurotic sanitation android. Together, this unlikely bunch of heroes attempt to find their way back to Earth under the guidance of Holly, the ship's senile computer, encountering a whole heap of smeg along the way. Not really a better way to describe the show other than that. You know, pretty descriptive, I would say, that description. Now, Red Dwarf started in 1988 as a character-driven comedy that just happened to be in space. There were no aliens. There are no aliens in Red Dwarf. Instead, they have mechanoids, which are human servant droids, simulants, which are war droids that hate humans and kill them and torture them and stuff like that. They have gelfs, which are genetically engineered life forms created by humans for entertainment, but now they live on their own.
I am the one who will destroy
The idea was to create a sci-fi show with as little sci-fi as possible. This, of course, was changed in later series. There was a 3-year gap between Series 7 and Series 6 and Series 7, excuse me. But that's not as bad as the 11-year gap between the release of Seasons 8 and 9. Originally, the show ended on a cliffhanger which has yet to be resolved. In 1998, that's when the cliffhanger was 1998. But then the show was revived in 2009 for Series 9, which was a 3-part miniseries called Back to Earth. And Series 10 came out in 2012. They have scheduled Series 11 and 12 for 2016 and 2017 to air, respectively. There are, to date, 61 episodes of Red Dwarf. But if they keep the trends up with the number of episodes per season, there will be at least 73 by the end of Season 12. Now, one thing that is common in Red Dwarf is inconsistency. It's loaded with inconsistency and retcon. For instance, in Season 1 of the Red Dwarf launched in 2077, in the 21st century. But in Season 7, Lister was born in 21-something or other. I can't remember the exact date, but it was in the 22nd century. But every other season besides that has taken place in the 23rd century. Granted, they are 3 million years past whatever time it initially started, so it's not like, you know, that's a big concern, but...
This would be a good time to test the power.
You know, it's inconsistent. In Seasons 1 and 2, Lister hardly knew Kochanski. In fact, they had only shared 174 words in total. But, by Season 4 and up, they had decided that apparently they had like a 3-week or 3-month, I can't remember exactly which, relationship before she dumped him. The number of crew jumps from 169 to 1169, and even 100,000 in the novels. Just to name a few inconsistencies. There are 4 Red Dwarf novels: Infinity Welcomes Careful Drivers, Better Than Life, Backwards, and Last Human. Though the first 2, Better Than Life is a direct sequel to Infinity Welcomes Careful Drivers, and they are the same continuity, whereas Backwards and Last Human are 2 separate sequels, 2 alternate sequels for Better Than Life. Also, they made Craig Charles wrote a book called The Log, which is another faux guide that he wrote about how to survive in space. Has nothing to do with Red Dwarf itself, but it's called The Log, A Dwarfer's Guide to Everything, and I definitely recommend that as well. There are 2 failed US pilots. One of them was similar to the original show and tried to stay faithful, but was still shite. In fact, Robert Llewellyn actually was in that one. But then the second one was even worse, where they had a female cat who was supposed to be a badass rather than a dumbass, and it just did not work. And, that's, pretty much all there is to say about Red Dwarf. I'm looking forward to seasons 11 and 12 coming out in the next couple years, which, that'll be good. Now, as you can tell, the footage I've used here is Dragon Ball Xenoverse. And, yes, it's a fun game, and I recommend that too on an unrelated note. Part 3 will be, obviously, another PBS show, as is customary. I'm kind of rambling on right now. I apologize for that, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Enjoy the rest of this footage if you want. That's it for my voiceover, and I will see you in Part 3.
Here I go! Right and right, left and left, spin and turn and... great big smile! Impressive. You were better than I expected.